We are making League of Legends jungle camps into D&D monsters. Let's dive straight into the blue jungle. This side of the jungle was the easiest to make, and that's why we're starting here. For the wolf camp, we have 2 regular Merk wolves and 1 2-headed Merk wolf. To do this, we do have 2 stat blocks from D&D that we can look at for reference. The dire wolf and the death dog. For the Merk wolves, we essentially take 2 pieces of each monster to create our Merk wolves. For the greater Merk wolf, we will give it the pack tactics from the dire wolf and the 2-headed feature from the death dog. For AC, they will get 14, similar to the dire wolf, and for HP, they will get 14 D8 plus 12, or 75. Its speed will be 40 feet, matching the death dog. For stats, we will match the stats of the death dog, but increasing the strength to 16, leaving the dexterity at 14, constitution at 14, intelligence with 3, wisdom with 13, and charisma with 6. Its senses and skills will match the death dog as well, with 120 feet of dark vision and a passive perception of 15. For skill bonuses, we will give it perception with plus 5 and stealth with plus 4. For attacks, it will get a multi-attack for its 2 heads, getting 2 bite attacks that deal 1d6 plus 4. Moving on to the smaller, single-headed Merk wolves, we will lower the AC by 1, and the HP will be 50 or 9d8 plus 10. Its speed will be the same along with its stats, except for the strength getting lowered to 15. Its senses and its skills stay the same. It will lose the 2-headed skill, but it keeps the pack tactics. And with attacks, it will only get a single bite due to it only having 1 head. And that leaves us with the Merk Wolf pack. If you're trying to make homebrew monsters, you should follow these steps I took for the blue jungle. There are lots of monsters in D&D, and sometimes you can just take similar stats and tweak them a little bit to make a brand new, unique monster. Traveling down the blue jungle to a mushroom, a large Gromp spawns. It has an AC of 15, HP of 100, or 16d10 plus 12. Its walking speed will be 20, with a swim speed of 40. For stats, it will get a total of 59, with 16 in strength, 13 in dexterity, 15 in constitution, 2 in intelligence, 10 in wisdom, and 3 in charisma. Since it spawns from a mushroom, I felt the damage resistance to poison made a lot of sense. And for senses, it will get dark vision of 120 feet, and a passive perception of 10. Both of Gromp's abilities are taken from the D&D counterpart, the giant toad, with amphibious, allowing it to breathe water and air, and standing leap, allowing it to use its frog legs to jump. Its attacks function the same as the giant toad as well, but we are going to increase the damage. Its 1d10 plus 2 is now 1d10 plus 3, and the poison damage is increased to 2d10. And after the Gromp bites a creature, they are restrained by its tongue. The Gromp can then make a swallow attack on its next turn. Swallowing a creature will deal 14 or 4d6 acid damage each turn while it's in its mouth. Hopefully, with its health, AC, and damage increases, it will increase the CR from 1, as the giant toad, to a CR 4 Gromp. As we wait for the blue buff to respawn, we will path towards the Raptor camp. But before we get there, we need to pass through the river. There, we find the Scuttle crab. This monster will be our easiest encounter. An AC of 11, HP of 8 or 1d6 plus 5, and a speed of 25. A terrible stat total of 50, with 8 in strength, 16 in dexterity, 10 in constitution, 6 in intelligence, 4 in wisdom, and 6 in charisma. Dark vision of 60, and a passive perception of 11. Its ability is Seeing Eye. If the Scuttle Crab is lowered to 0 HP, the Scuttle Crab burrows under the ground, leaving its eye stalks above the ground. These eye stalks create light, giving all creatures in the area 60 feet of dark vision. This vision beats magical darkness. I think this is a really cool and interesting ability, handy for an adventuring party, and a cool spot to make camp around. In League of Legends, the Scuttle Crab doesn't attack, and in D&D, there will be no difference. The actions it gets is a dash, allowing it to dash an extra 10 feet in any direction. Once we secure the Scuttle Crab, we're going to invade the enemy red jungle. Stumbling upon the Raptor camp, this camp has 5 young Raptors and 1 adult Raptor. For the young Raptors, we will give it an AC of 12, HP of 7 or 2d6, and a speed of 30. The health might be low for the Raptors, but they will make up for it in their damage. For stats, the young Raptors will have a total of 58, with 10 in strength, 16 in dexterity, 10 in constitution, 6 in intelligence, 8 in wisdom, and 8 in charisma. It will get a passive perception of 12, and its bite attack will deal 4 or 1d4 plus 2 piercing damage, and an additional 1d4 fire damage. Moving on to the mother, the adult Raptor will get an AC of 15, HP of 39, or 68 plus 12, and we will increase its speed to 40. In terms of stats, we will buff the 58 to a 66, with 12 in strength, 16 in dexterity, 10 in constitution, 8 in intelligence, 10 in wisdom, and 10 in charisma. The passive perception is increased to 14, and the adult Raptor will get the ability Pack Tactics, where they have advantage on attack rolls if one of the Raptor's allies is within 5 feet. For its bite, the damage is increased from a d4 to a d6, making it a 6 or 1d6 plus 3, and dealing an extra 2d6 fire damage. These 2 stats might be weak on their own, but if you face up against the whole pack like you do in League, then your party is in for a really tough fight. Traveling down through the red jungle into the rocky territory of the Krugs, 2 boulders roll towards you. As they unfold, you see a mini Krug and an ancient Krug. For the mini Krug, it will get an AC of 14 because it is made up of rock, and an HP of 7 or 2d6, and its speed will be 20. For stats, it will get 56, breaking it up into 10 in strength, 6 in dexterity, 18 in constitution, 6 in intelligence, 6 in wisdom, and 10 in charisma. It gets no skills, no senses, and no abilities. It gets 1 action, that being Headbutt, and it deals 4 or 1d4 plus 2. When they grow and get older into an ancient Krug, they get an AC of 16, HP of 22, or 4d8 plus 4, and a movement speed of 25. Its base stat total gets increased from 56 to 65, breaking that up into 12 in strength, 6 in dexterity, 18 in constitution, 8 in intelligence, 10 in wisdom, and 10 in charisma. It gets dark vision of 60 and a passive perception of 11. Its headbutt attack gets increased to a d6, making it deal 6 or 1d6 plus 3. And lastly, the ancient Krug gets an ability called Brittle. When the ancient Krug drops to 0 HP, it breaks apart into 4 mini Krugs, making for an interesting 2-stage battle. After clearing all 4 camps plus Scuttle Crab, enough time has passed for the 2 opposing Sentinels to spawn. Red Sentinel and Blue Sentinel. They're the staples of the jungle, so let's break them down into monsters. Both are going to be classified as constructs, similar to the clay or stone golem. Both red and blue will get an HP of 178 or 17 d10 plus 85, and a speed of 30. For armor class, red gets 17 and blue gets 18. For stats, they both get 66 total, with blue getting 18 in strength, 10 in dexterity, 22 in constitution, 5 in intelligence, 8 in wisdom, and 3 in charisma. Moving over to red, its stats look very similar, but we're going to swap the constitution with its strength, making its strength 22 and its constitution 18. With most golems, they are immune to all physical damage and can only be hurt by magic. And I was going to follow suit at first, but the Sentinels in the lore are created by the natural magic flowing through the lands. That sounds a lot like the weave in D&D. So I made these 2 Sentinels resist all magic. Not immune, just resist. Lots of condition immunities stay the same as the other golems, being immune to charms, exhaustion, fear, paralysis, petrification, and being poisoned. They both have 100 feet of dark vision and a passive perception of 10. They both have 2 abilities. One, making them immune to spells that would alter their form, and magic weapons, which makes the Sentinel's weapon attacks count as magic. And both Sentinels make 2 slam attacks. Blues dealing 3d8 plus 5 or 19, and Reds dealing 3d8 plus 6 or 20, plus 3 or 1d6 fire damage. If the Sentinels are killed, their magical crests can be absorbed by the creature that conquered it, creating two magic items, that being the Crest of Insight and the Crest of Cinders. The Crest of Cinders was easy to make, giving it this description. The heat of the Crest of Cinders radiates around you, causing all your physical attacks to deal an extra 3 or 1d6 fire damage. The warmth of the flames can soothe pain. When combat ends, heal for 1 hit die. The Crest of Insight, on the other hand, was a little harder to make. In-game, it regenerates mana, but in D&D, we use spell slots. And what if a melee class lands the final blow, like Barbarian or Monk? For these problems, I came up with this. The magical energy of Insight flows within you. When combat ends, roll 2d4. You can regenerate 1d4 spell slots, equal to or lower than the level you rolled on the first d4. If you do not use spell slots, you can regenerate one of your class features: Rage, Ki, Action Surge, etc. And that's the complete League of Legends jungle as D&D monsters. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.